I record everything. Okay, you may record everything. You don't have to ask me, can I record your lecture? Of course you can. I'm giving it to you anyway. Can you record a conversation that you and I might have one-on-one sometime? Yes, you may. May you record my lectures? Yes, you may. Anything that gets said. I do tend to say some things a little off the wall once in a while, but I'm too old for them to do anything to. So I don't mind telling you the truth about this or that, and you'll hear some of that today. Bio 11. Don't answer this. This is rhetorical. How many are taking it for the second time? 8 of you is the answer. And I don't know why you dropped, and that's not my business, but 8 people are taking it for the second time. And you got to get through it this time. You absolutely got to get through it. You can't keep taking up seats. I realize many people have different situations. Problems come up during the semester, of course. Even great students, super students, sometimes have to drop the class. But if this is your first time, let's make it your only time. Okay? Don't want to be setting yourself back at least a semester and probably a year to get back into the class again. Okay? So I'll do what I can to help get you through, and you got to do your part. Okay? My part's to get the information over to you clearly, and your part is to absorb that information or ask me to clarify it if I didn't get it across in a clear manner. Okay, so that we can communicate and you can get a handle on this material. Okay, I love anatomy, but some people it's not their thing. It depends upon your memorization skills. Now, some people are born with these things, it seems. Others develop them, and others don't even try to develop them. Well, you're going to have to do that here and get them working. And you can, and you'll see that in a couple of weeks, what might have seemed like an insurmountable amount of information coming at you on the first couple of days is something that you can absorb quickly. I think they used to call this course Memorization 101, and I think it pretty well is up to that. Okay, I'm going to switch modes in just a second. I think I'll take the roll first here while I've got all of you, I hope, in front of me. Why do I want you to have your video on? Well, one, I get to see you. Two, it's more personal, especially for me. It does help me. It helps me in my delivery or my answer to your question. I was in a meeting 2 days ago, virtual meeting with the other instructors. They all feel the same way. They hate it when all they get is a black screen with white names. Have you seen that in other classes? We hate it too when we don't get any answers. Anybody can answer over anybody else right now.
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay, thank you. You're muted, everybody, but well, you're not now, Sasha. But if you want to speak, usually you can hit the space bar and do it, or you can do it the longer way and go down to the bottom of your screen on the left where it says mute, of course, and click it off. Okay. If I need to mute you because a dog or a kid or something is screaming in your background and you're not taking care of it for us and everybody's hearing it, well, I'll mute you and you come back to your computer and find that you're silent. Well, that's okay. Now, when I see all those black screens, little teeny tablets with only a name on it. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like a mausoleum. It looks like dead people put into the wall at a cemetery. It's exactly what it looks like. And I don't want to be lecturing in a situation like that. Okay. How would you like to come to class and your instructor's gone, like I am right now? Okay. You'll be having radio. Okay. Oh, you don't want to look at me much, and I'm not going to look at you much. Don't worry about that. Okay. But it's a bit more interesting when you're talking or answering a question to be able to see the person face to face. Now, on the other hand, do I expect you to have your camera on all the time? When you have to get up, maybe to answer the door, go get a sandwich, go to the restroom, whatever you have to do, you can either leave the space empty. I don't care. I've seen empty seats before, or you can turn it off during that point. We're roughly going to have 2 hours of Zoom at the start of each day, and sometimes 2.5. But you'll have the appropriate number of breaks. And not all of that time will you be on camera. In a moment, as soon as I switch over to shared view and start looking at the syllabus with you and everything else, you're not on camera anymore. Okay, your camera's on, but you're not being seen. You're only going to be seen for a few minutes each day. Okay, now the state of California, in its wisdom, I was born in this state. I was born a long time ago. I have been working at Saddleback College for 45 or 46 years. I've been at Saddleback College before you were born. I've been waiting for you. Okay, so we finally meet. But the state of California, it's changed quite a bit in my lifetime. And the one thing that they have come up with is that I can look at you, or you can look at me or each other face to face when we have a face to face on campus class. But when it's online, I can't insist that you have your video on. But don't turn it off yet. Okay, just because I said that. Okay. Does that? I'm not going to ask you. Does that make sense? Of course, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you want an online class, there are some things you give up or assume, and if you want a face-to-face class, there's other things that we get. Okay, so I can't force anybody, and I don't want to force anybody to look at the to have their camera on, but I do want the camera on. So how do I get you to put your camera on or your video on when it's not going to be mandatory? How would you do that? And you could drink whatever you want, except this one guy was drinking a Budweiser. Okay, well, you're just listening right now. I'm not getting any talk out of you. And the one way I'm going to do it is this. There's extra credit in most courses, and there is a small amount in this one. Usually 20 points is available when people take the practical exams. Total 20 points for the entire course. That's in the other instructors courses. I provide 30 to 35 points. So you get a few extra. Now, I don't have to give extra credit. They don't have to give extra credit. Nobody does. Okay. But extra is extra. And here's how you can earn some of the extra credit. Have your camera on And for every day you have your camera on for at least half of the time. Okay. Half of the time is approximately 1 hour out of the 2. Then you'll get just 1 point of extra credit. But when you add it up for the whole semester, that's going to be 25 points. 25 points. And if I'm going to give you about 35 points of extra credit, I'm going to provide you with a couple of extra credit quizzes that you can take. Now, I still want to encourage you to take advantage of that then. But somebody may say, I don't want to have my camera on at all, and I should be able to get extra credit too. Well, I'm giving extra credit for participating, making the class flow better, helping me enjoy the class, which means a better presentation, I hope, and the same for you. But if there's somebody that doesn't want the extra credit by turning on their video, I will have 3 10-page papers that can be written for the extra credit. Okay, an extra credit assignment. 3 papers. If you do 1, you'll get 10, 2, 10, or more, and finally you can get all 30 points approximately. I'm wavering here between 25 and 35, but 30 is a good number. You can get all your points without ever showing your face again, okay? But you'll have to work for it. Okay, now I'm not going to bring that up again. You bring it up if you want that option. For whatever reason you would want it, I don't know. Okay, so everybody has the opportunity for extra credit. Nobody has to show their face, but I do like to take a look at you. Okay. Sometimes I get a reaction on somebody's face to something I said. I can tell I'm not getting through. It helps. It helps to know when that's the case. I went in 2 semesters ago, and the one I'm sorry. I'm also have the tendency to call on people individually, and when I do,
if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have bought.
Yeah.
okay, gone. No, I can't remember what I was saying.
You call on people individually.
Oh yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. Once in a while, I'll call individually. I don't make it a practice. This is nothing to be afraid of if I do call on you individually. Sometimes I want you to give me the wrong answer. Okay, if I get the right answer, I'm usually thrilled. I tend to call on people that are blacked out more frequently than people who show their video. Okay, just warning. Okay. And I was saying also then that 2 semesters ago, I was calling on one of the black squares. I don't remember the guy's name. Let's call it Robert now. And I said, Robert, what's the answer to that? And there was no sound. So I check back on when I don't get an answer. I keep checking back. And if this person is split for the day, well, that's it. They're not getting credit for the day. If they're there the next time or the time after that, well, sure, I realized they went to the bathroom. And now they're back. They had something to do, and now they're back, and that's absolutely fine. But this time, I asked for the answer, and the voice said, "I don't know." Okay. My brother knows. Wait a minute. What do you mean? I got this voice to go over to the video button and click it and let me see who it was. And it wasn't the student, it was his little brother, 6-year-old kid. And his brother had set him up to stand there, and answer, I don't know, if anything, while he was gone. And apparently he had been doing that the whole semester. How are you gonna learn? I mean, how are you gonna do it on the test? I don't. That's another question to which I would answer, I don't know. Okay. Anyhow, uh, all sorts of things happen. Okay. Okay, let me share the screen. Don't stick up on me today. Here it goes. Okay, are you looking at a page that shows the three gentlemen here?
Yes.
Okay, so we're together. It's a rather long login. I've tried several other ways to shorten it, but I haven't defeated it yet. But here we are. We only have to do that one time. Okay, this is our home page. Announcements go to the top of the home page. I make the announcements here, but the most recent one will go up here if it's important. You know where it's really going to go? It's going to go to an email sent to you. Okay.
When you click on the orientation starts here, it takes you to a whoops page not found.
Which one?
When you click on the page that you are right now, when you
Yes.
click on the orientation start here, when you click on it, it takes you to it says whoops, looks like nothing's there, page not found. So there was no syllabus to access.
Oh yes, there's a syllabus. It's right
So
here.
I'll show you. I don't know if you can.
I know what you're talking about. I see it. I see the orientation start here. Uh, I'll go ahead and let you prove it to me. There you go. Page not found. Okay. I can put something there, but there's nothing there that is going to be important. Okay. I'm was going, this is sort of your orientation as I go through it with you right now. And that actually should have popped up because this was dragged from the previous course. This page was dragged from the previous course, and it's supposed to be identical. But don't worry about that right now. I'll get something in there so that you don't feel gypped. Okay, no problem. And I'm going to come to the syllabus. Syllabus is always the link, and then you can open it. When I say approximately 25 days of extra credit, because that's because there are about 25 days when we use Zoom. We don't use Zoom on practicum days, that's lab test days, or the final examination. Okay. But sometimes the internet is slow. It seems to be a bit slow for me anyway today, and I've got the best internet I can afford. And so here's the actual syllabus. I sent you the syllabus in the mail, but if you didn't get it, because it's probably because you didn't read your Saddleback or IVC email. Okay? That's the only addresses I have for you, unless you have sent me another address. In those addresses that I have, messages that I sent to you, I sent one in particular that said, please reply by 11. And it asked you to reply from your either iPhone or other email address, your Gmail account, Hotmail account, your Yahoo account. Reply from that, and I will then be able to capture the email address you really want me to send things to. That way, I'm going to put it all in one address book, and I'll be able to get to everybody quickly. The times that I need it, you can't think of them up front, but they really do come about. During a test, for instance.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's the best thing to do.
Okay, that's two I've muted. Okay, now I don't mind muting them. It's just that I forget where I am. So once again, tell me what I was talking about.
You were talking about the emails.
Okay, thank you. If you can't find that email, it's at your college address. Okay, and it will say Bio 11 on it, and it will say, please reply. Please do reply to it, but reply either from the device and email account that you want to use, or write the link to it so that I can complete the address book. I only have half the class having done it already, and in a moment I'll tell you if I've got yours. Okay. Many people want to just keep their Saddleback or IVC email. I don't like using mine. I've given it to you, but I prefer you write me directly at my home. It doesn't matter. It'll get here no matter what you send it to. But during a test, something could go wrong, like pictures, a group of 10 pictures maybe. They don't load up. What's the matter? Well, somebody's going to see it, and they'll email me during the exam. That's fine. But 10 other people are trying to email me, and they're like almost screaming. You can hear them. Come on, answer me, answer me. I can't answer 10 people at once. So if I have your address in a folder, I can get back to everybody at once and tell them how to correct any problem that they have. Okay. There are often problems on the Canvas exams. A couple of times it has been my problem, yes. Most of the time it's Canvas's problem, and I have to quickly learn how to solve it and get back to you. And we've done fine. We've done fine. Okay. So in a moment when I call the roll, if I tell you I don't have your preferred email address, please send it to me, even if it's just to acknowledge that you want to use your IVC or Saddleback email address. Okay. Otherwise, by Thursday, if I don't have it, I'm going to assume that you will answer to the IVC or Saddleback address. Okay. And if that's not the case, you're going to get left behind. All you have to do is give me the email address you want me to use. Okay. How to reach me? Well, first off, my name is Charlie. Okay. I worked a lot of years, so I think I'm free to ask you not to call me doctor or professor or anything like that. Charlie, instructor, or teacher, those are all fine. Okay. I don't like the word professor. I think too many people that profess really don't have the credentials to do that. Okay. There are two parts of this course, Bio 11 and Bio 110. You don't have to honestly take 110. We're going to talk about that in just a second. This course is worth 4 units, and 110, the discussion section, is worth 1 unit. There's my college email address. And if you need an office hour, nobody ever does. But if you ever need an office hour, surprise me, and I'll set one up with you. Okay. The course description, I'm going to assume that you have read that. Read it. Pretty well assume that you've read that, or you wouldn't be here. Okay. How long will it take? Takes 16 weeks. They make me put in a time, 20 to 25 hours work outside of class. For some people, some of you have already put in that much time. I gave you the address, or when I published the original syllabus, and I published the first 2 weeks of the course, and people have been on it for hours and hours. I don't know if they need to spend that much time on it, okay? But some people won't need as much time as others. Take as much time as you need, though, because what grade are you looking for? What grade are you looking for in this class?
An A.
An A.
Who's looking for something else?
An A?
Okay. That's what it should be. Everybody should be looking for an A. Has it ever happened? 10 years ago in the summer, a class of 35, 34 got A's. 1 did not. Too bad. We could have had it. Do I worry if I give a lot of A's? No, but you have to earn it just like you would in any other class. What would I worry about? Other instructors saying, oh, you're too easy? No, I don't worry about that. I give the same test that they did, damn well do, you know? So I just like to keep in touch with how you're doing and try to get you the best score that you can. Now, I'm not going to earn this score. You're going to earn the score. You're going to earn the grade, but I will be there to help you if you need it. I have a website, and you'll see it a little bit later. This website was developed in face-to-face class, and it's still useful. I'm not going to toss this information. There's way too much information in this website. We'll see it just in a moment. The student learning outcomes, these are mandated by, we love that word today, but these are mandated by the state of California. We have to have learning outcomes. These are child's play. This is just a small fraction of the course. We're going to put those questions in a test. Well, fine. I was on the original committee that set up the student learning outcomes at Saddleback College, and we never meant it to be this simpleton. Okay, and so here it is. And if you have a paper copy, I just crossed through it. Book information. Okay. Some of you just joined the class. I got you in just at the last minute. One person I got in 10 minutes before class time. The book is Human Anatomy by Miriam. You know, Miriam et al. Is Wilhelm and Malat. You can use edition 7, 8, or 9. 9 is what you'll see in the books area for this class. I have all the editions, but I'm going to use edition 7. It's the older one. What do they do from edition 7, 8, or 9? What's the change? Have you ever had a book that changed editions and then you had to get the next one or the next one? Why did they change it and make a new edition? Think about it just for a second and shout it out.
To make more money.
Who's making the money? You're right.
The
Who's
book,
making the money?
or the book company or the author.
They each
The publisher.
get some money. That's right, or they wouldn't be in business. Okay. And we need books, so we have to give them their fair share. But you haven't got it. Who's making the money?
The publisher.
No.
The school?
By the school, you mean the bookstore. Okay. And the bookstore is the one that makes the money. The bookstore never publishes the book. The bookstore never writes the book. All the bookstore does is stock things on the shelf like at a grocery store and wait for you to come and pick it up. And they sell it at a huge profit to themselves. And then they buy it back at the end of the semester for pittance. And then they sell it again the next semester for a big markup. They can sell it over and over 3 or 4 or 5 times. And they have never done anything. It ticks me off. But finally, the actual publisher, this is Pearson, they're not selling any books to the bookstore because the bookstores keep recycling their own. So they have to say, enough. We're not giving you edition 7 again. We're up to edition 8. And the school can't assign edition 7 and 8. Well, I'm doing it, okay? But the school can't do it. Okay, so the publisher is protecting themselves. That's all they can do. Okay? It's the bookstore that takes in the rakes in the money. If I were you and don't have this book yet, I would buy the cheapest version. Edition 7 is great. 8, I never used it much. I knew it was the same as 7. 9 is way too expensive, and I know some of you went and bought it already. Maybe order for yourself one if you can off of Amazon or some other place. I know you know the bookstore places better than I do, but I just checked Amazon a couple days ago for an older edition 7, and there it is. There it is. It was like $50. One person got a book for $10. Okay, but I think they want $300 for edition 9. Come on, we got better things to do with your money. Okay. You're going to need the book. We're going to use it today. We're going to have our first lab today, a little bit later, and we're going to have our first short lecture. Okay, breaking things down. And if you don't have the book, what are you going to do? Well, you can quickly decide to get an ebook. Probably what I would end up doing. So I know I've got it now. Don't have to wait any particular length of time. Or I'll give you some time together and you can chat and find out if there's anybody willing to take a few photographs of the required pages and send them to you. Okay. I don't think you're being taken advantage of. I think you're just being very helpful in that case if you're one of those who volunteers. But I've never had a problem getting the class started with most of the people having a book and a couple of people needing to borrow information. Okay, technical needs for Canvas, you probably have it because you're here. Okay. Computer specifications. Zoom, of course, you need that. It doesn't say it here, but you've seen it already, that Canvas is optimized for Chrome. That's true. Chrome browser. I don't use Chrome. It's fine. It's sort of weak, I think, but for Canvas, and you take a test, take it on Chrome. Do not take a test ever on your cell phone. You're just asking for a heartache. Don't take a test on Firefox. Don't take a test on anything but Chrome. Okay? And then you can switch to the other thing during our normal talking if you like, okay? There was a time when I liked Chrome. I don't remember what turned me off, but something did. But when they say it's optimized for Chrome, it really is. Here's our grading scale. The total number of tests is 8. 4 of them are lecture tests, that includes the final. 4 of them, additionally, are practical exams. All 8 are worth 100 points apiece. So the total number of points is 800. 90% of that is 720. So 720 is an A. 80% of that is 640, and 640 then to 719 is a B. Here's for a C, a D, and an F. I have had times when I've had to give all of those different grades. Now, this does not include the extra credit. It's possible to actually earn 800 and about 30 points in the class. Okay, one of which you're getting right now. Okay, I know 1 point. 1 point doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up and it's 25 at the end of the class, it does mean quite a bit. Okay, but also since it doesn't mean a lot for each day, if you miss a day or you just have a bad hair day and you want to stay video off, you can, and you just lose the point, or not get the point, I should say. You don't lose it, you never had it. Okay, Bio 110. Bio 110's discussion section for this class. Of the 36 people that are right now signed up for Bio 11, 20 have got the message from me and taken it to heart, I think, to sign up for Bio 110. Okay. If you're one of those that might take that expensive edition 9 back, I've saved you quite a bit of money already. But Bio 110 discussion section does cost for 1 unit. That's $46, I believe, unless they changed anything. What do we do in the discussion section? Okay, you get a grade based upon attendance, participation, discussion of reading assignments. You are expected, hopefully, to open up a little bit, okay? Completion of chapter outlines, everybody's going to do that. Whether you're in Bio 110 or not, everybody's going to do chapter outlines. And you'll get the opportunity to go over and do corrections to scored examinations. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth about Bio 110, the discussion section, that you'll never hear from anybody else. Why do we have this 1 unit discussion section now, when 10, 11, 12, 9, 8, 7 years ago, we didn't? We have a couple of long-winded instructors. They have both since retired. They're not even here any longer, but they talk and they talk and they talk. And when you read Rate My Professors, you find that they're not talking about anything important. They just want more time to talk. I'll do a lot of talking, but I can fit it in also. So they asked the nursing program to put in a 1 unit discussion. Nursing program said no, they can't do it because the nursing program is by state law limited to the number of prereq courses that they can have. Okay, so this is not a prereq, that's why it's optional actually, but the Bio 110 is a very valuable course. Not for the 2 retirees who wanted it just to gab, I guess. Okay. Knowing these 2 people, that's exactly what they wanted it for. We were allowed to develop the course, but we couldn't tie it to the nursing program directly. Okay. Well, I use it for this. One, I occasionally may lecture long. I don't do it often, don't worry about that. But if I do lecture long, I don't want to split it into 2 days. I want to get it over with, and I'll go into the discussion time. Also, after every examination, I have a meeting of the people enrolled in the discussion section, and they do come together with Confer Zoom, and we discuss every aspect of the test that is troubling to them or that they want to talk about. Also, having the extra hour, if you've seen the schedule itself, the extra hour on Tuesday, it's called. Well, this is Tuesday. We aren't ready for a discussion section. We haven't discussed anything yet. So that doesn't make sense, but we can use that hour for many different things. One additional thing we can use the discussion section for is to extend the time on our lecture exams and practicums. I will extend the lecture exam time from 50 minutes to instead 1 hour and 20 minutes. So from 50 minutes, it will now become 80 minutes long in the discussion. Okay. The nursing program, when they look to see whether or not they're going to take you in when you apply, they're going to look at your overall grade point average. And that will include Bio 110, the discussion section, which unless you are the laziest person in the world, you are going to get an A. All my summer school class gets an A, got an A. So did the time before that. Okay, I've had a couple of people get Bs, but it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. And they were warned ahead of time, it's coming. Okay, so here's an easy A in a course that's meant to help you with Bio 11. Okay, we'll have special previews of an exam, special review sections. Does that mean people in Bio 11 don't get a review section? No, they do. They absolutely do. But I just hold an additional one. So if they're not in 110 and only 11, they need to get all their questions in there right up front. Okay. When the nursing program looks at you, they're going to look at your overall grade point average. They're also going to look at, have you taken the 3 prerequisites? Anatomy, microbiology, and physiology. And you will have done that, hopefully with high grades. Okay. They're also going to look at the grade point average that you got in your last 12 units. Now, if you think about it, how do you do 12 units when you got a 1-unit course slipped in between them? You can't do it. You'll have to do the last 13 units, and that will give you a boost as well. Okay. I'm not using the discussion for any one particular thing. I'm going to be using it for gathering you together. I may even offer one-on-one sessions during this time. Okay. Now, if you notice the time slot for the 110, okay, it's I believe from 3 to 4, okay, on Tuesday only, and nothing on the Thursday. Okay. Take that 3 to 4 and mentally remove it for both days. Slip the lab back down towards the beginning. So today's class would be 1 to 4. Is that right? 1 to, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking summer school. It was 1 o'clock. It'll be 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I am not going to have us sit here idly waiting for 1 hour to pass. You don't need a 1 hour break. Okay. So we will not have a schedule for Bio 110. We will use it. We were not going to use it today. We can't. We haven't discussed anything. But I'll have a good schedule for Bio 110 before any examinations coming up and any new material is given. If you want to get into Bio 110, please, all you need to do is email me. Okay? I will either email back to you an ad code, or I hope I still have the ability to just check the box next to your name and generate an ad code. I'm sure I do. But we will get you in if you're interested in doing that. Okay. Generally speaking, in a class of 30, I have 29 people sign up for that. And 29 who may have begrudgingly parted with $46, but smiled when they got their A at the end. And when they got their higher Bio 11 grade. It does help. Okay. I'll let you make a mark for yourself to decide upon that. They'll probably cut the date off for me to be able to add you at the end of the week. Let's move down to lecture exams.
Professor,
3
quick
lecture
question.
exams and a comprehensive final. Okay, and you only get 1 missed exam. If it's a lecture exam, then you make it up right away. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to have you make it up during class time, because that just subtracts class time, which you probably need. Instead, I will make it up with you at a mutually agreeable time, but it will be very soon. So if you miss a Tuesday test, for instance, I'd expect to have it finished with before you come to class on Thursday. And I will put that test for you on the internet, and you can take it. Okay, but you can only miss 1. Can't miss the second test. There's another type of test, the lab exam. People consider these easier. They have a lot more material. There's 4 lab exams. The first is on bones, then the circulatory system and the muscular system, and all the systems of the body. These exams are also done multiple choice. Okay. How have you had exams done in online classes? Multiple choice?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Any of you had fill in?
Extra credit was fill in.
Yeah, I've had fill-in before.
I've had fill and also open response.
Fill in is horrible, because if you capitalize the word and the person who made up the test put the answer in with lowercase, you're going to miss the question. If you misspell the word just slightly, you're going to miss the question. The person making up the test has to guess every possible thing that you could put in there and make them possibilities for the answer. That's terrible, I think. I use multiple choice, okay, and I figure I've been doing it actually for many years. Works well for me. How many of you are in a class or have been in a class that uses Proctorio?
Yeah, I have.
I
Yes.
used it over the summer.
How many want to get in another class that uses Proctorio?
I don't mind.
You don't?
I don't like it.
That thing
makes
gave me
me feel
anxiety.
It
stressed.
did give me a
Yeah,
little
it's
anxiety,
ve-
yes.
It's very stressful. You have to scan your
Yeah.
room multiple
Yeah.
times, and it's just like
It's crazy.
throws you off.
Yeah,
Okay,
more
uh,
nervous, gives more test anxiety.
you guys are answering just the way my other classes did. Because it's one of the discussion section questions I ask people. What's right or what's wrong with proctorial? What's right is when it works to stop people from cheating. And they got to say the word. I mean, that's what it's there for. But it's wrong when it catches people, who are rubbing their eyebrow or something and says you're cheating and you're out of the test. You breathe too hard. You read the question to yourself, and proctorio says you're out of it. And the anxiety of being watched. Right now, this is the most anxiety you're going to have is right now just me being able to see you. And right now, in fact, I can only see 4 or 5 of you. And to be fair, I probably will minimize that. Just see nobody. Okay. Okay. So I do not use proctorio, and I never ever will. Yeah. So if that concerns you, you love it that much, you're in the wrong class. Okay. Special services students. You know who you are. I don't yet. If you are out there, I need to know. You need to have special services send me the packet or the digital packet that they need me to sign. Okay, and I need it really quick. I know they'll tell you, oh, we're swamped. It's the beginning of the semester. Tell them my instructor is impossible. He will not wait. He wants it now. Okay. Don't tell them who I am because they know I'm not like that. Okay. So if you're in special services and have an accommodation coming, you won't get it unless I get the material. You need to drop? I hope not. I had one person drop last summer. In the summer, too. That's usually tough. November 5th is the day. I'll have a grade record for you. Please, please, if you don't latch onto anything else right now, do not rely on Canvas for your grade. Do not rely on Canvas for your percentage participation or your attendance. Canvas doesn't get everything straight. For instance, on a test, Canvas doesn't know if there's any extra credit. I have to add that in myself. I do it by hand. I'm so used to doing it anyway. I prefer. And I will have a grade sheet, an Excel spreadsheet, and I send it to every one of you. You'll have a coded number by that time. So you don't know, nobody sees your grade. You see all the grades in the class. And every time we take another test, I send you another one and another one. If you find an error, you email me right away and it will get solved. It will get solved. But if you go and look at Canvas for your grades, well, first off, you're going to have trouble because I took that ability off of Canvas. All it would do is confuse you. I have your grade. I have your grade accurate. Or if you think it's not, you and I will solve that. Okay. And it'll be available all of the time. All of the time. Okay. I'm just looking for anything that's not.
Charlie,
Yes.
if you record the lectures, will you then post them or do we need to record it ourselves?
You don't need to record it yourself. I will post it.
Awesome.
Okay, and in a moment or before we are done today, I'll show you that Canvas on Confer Zoom automatically records, and there's a place where you can find this, and it's always there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, Connecticut, you just need to be polite. Okay, and I haven't noticed anything impolite today. Okay. This is really important, communication. Okay. I'm not shy at sending you emails. I try to keep them short. When they're long, it's because they're telling you what's going to be on the test, and it's punctuating them for you. But if you have a problem, email me. Okay. I'm the self-proclaimed king of email. I wake up in the morning, I kick my computer on, it's on the floor, and the first thing I do is check email. Okay. Of course, I've had a lot of email checking or computer work this last weekend, checking for drops and things like that. Okay, please read this. I'm not going to read this. How I will be communicating with you, it'll just happen. Okay. How to reach me, again, email is the best. Here's my home address. So in case you get a message from me and it's coming from my home address, you'll realize that is Charlie. It is Charlie, not at hand. If you want to start a study group, my warning to you is this. If you're starting a study group, most of the people in there need to be of similar, what's the word? I was going to say caliber, but I don't like that word. Abilities and have similar goals. What you don't want is, you should figure this out yourself. If somebody starts dragging the group down because they're always behind, they don't get the material, they're not reading the book, or they're not keeping up, so that'll drag you down, then you've got a problem. How do you get rid of this person? Probably best to just disband the group and then start up another group someplace else. Okay. Don't get yourself in a situation like that. Most people can work just fine on their own. But if you're going to work with one or two or three others, just be sure that you feel comfortable that they are the same caliber as you. Okay, here's the word on copyrights and recordings. I told you that you can copy, you can record anything in my class. Okay, if I don't want it recorded, I'll say so, and then you will please stop recording if you are. Okay, here's our topical outline. This is for lectures. Further down, laboratory topics. I would rather have had them side by side, but the two columns wouldn't fit. Okay, so here's the approximation of the lecture topics. And here's our first lab practicum. Now that's not a lecture topic, so I just said reserved for practicum 1. On days that we have a practicum, we do not have lecture. Here's the first lecture exam, and then we have a second practicum reserved, second lecture exam, third lecture exam here, way back up here, just before the holiday, we have practicum 3. Practicum 4 and the final exam are given on the same day. Don't worry, you can do it. Everybody always does it. The material is very similar in both exams. Here are the laboratory topics. We'll be starting with the skull. And then on the 14th of September, we'll have our first practicum. Okay. So there's a lot of new terms that you're going to have to learn. Yes, quickly, but you can do it. Okay. On days that we have practicums, I just said, we do not have a lecture. On days that we have lecture exam, however, we do have laboratory. I know you'll ask me that again. That's supposed to be accommodations. Okay. That's a repeat. Okay, that's just a repeat there. I don't like templates. Okay. Now, good. Okay. Now, before we take a break, first, any questions? Okay. I'm going to go through the roll. I have to do this, you know that. And stick with us until we're finished, okay? Harrison, I don't see your video on. Okay. I'll mispronounce, I'm sure, but I'll do my best. Leanne Batista,
Here.
thank you. Sasha's here. Billy Brown,
Here.
Jessica Brown,
Here.
Adriel Burgos,
Here.
Compoy,
Here.
Lana,
Here.
Nina,
Here.
thank you. Rachel,
Here.
Martina,
Here.
Fitz,
Here.
Val, yeah, okay. Hannah, you're here. Arabella,
Here.
Tristan,
Here.
Kyla's here. Harvey, last name Harvey,
Here.
thank you. Hembrador, Dominique. Okay, might have a spot there. Nosteron,
Here.
Theo,
Here.
Kim, last name,
Here.
Eric,
Here.
Leilani,
Here.
Harrison,
I'm here and my mic on my computer is broken, so I'm here on my phone right now.
okay, you're on your phone. So
Yeah.
you know what that means, okay? You're not gonna get the 1 point of extra credit today. Big
Oh.
deal. There's no big deal because
can
there's gonna be
Oh,
enough.
my camera is on my I can turn on my camera on my computer
That's
too.
all I wanted to do. There you
Okay.
go. Okay, You got it?
Harrison, you have two screens. One has just
Yeah.
your name and then one has your face.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for letting him know. Yeah, front and side. Okay. Uh, Alexa. Alexa. Matez. My
Here.
Yesenia.
Here.
Ashley.
Here.
Zara.
Here.
Jules.
Here.
Hannah.
Here.
Florencia.
Here.
Maria Del Mar.
Here.
Carissa.
Here.
Emma.
Here.
Corolla.
Here.
Tatsuno.
Here.
Who didn't get called? Okay, did Tang show up? Okay, I guess not. She's the one I added 1 minute before the class started. Here, I'm going to read to you quickly. Listen for your name. Okay. I'm going to read the names of the people that I don't believe have sent me their preferred email address. Okay. You can title an email to me, email address. That's good enough. But and then I'll see where it is. I need to know your name, and if your email address doesn't give up your name, then you need to write it. Okay. So here's the ones that I don't have: Billy Brown, Jessica Brown, Lana Cho, Nina. We're gonna just call it Nina. Rachel, Hannah Goldstick, Arabella, Tristan, Dominique, Nastaran. I know I have from before, but I need it again. Theo, Leilani, Harrison, Alexa, Ashley, Maria Del Mar, Emma, Carola, and Tatsuno. So please email me your email address that you wish to use, okay, so that I can get to you quickly. Okay. Now, any questions about what we've done so far?
Charlie, I just emailed it to you as we were typing. You just mentioned my name, but I just emailed it to
That's
you.
fine. That's fine. It's
Charlie, I was late coming in. I apologize. I had computer issues, but I figured it out. But so you said are we meeting Tuesdays and Thursdays? Or is it just,
no, this class meets Tuesday and Thursday.
okay,
We meet at 2 o'clock always.
Okay.
Now,
okay,
normally what'll happen, today is an unusual day, right?
okay.
You know what I'm doing. I'm looking for who's got the sound on.
Oh,
I'm just, when I do that, that's gone. Okay. We meet at 2 o'clock, Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's one holiday later on. Okay. And the first hour starts with you and I talking. Any questions? Okay. Things like that. And the reading assignment, which I may not give you today. I realize some are still waiting for the book, but it's an easy easy reading assignment to start with. And if that's the case, I don't give it to you today, then I'll give it to you on Thursday. But normally we meet, talk for a bit, and then we go to the lecture material. The lecture material is all online. That's asynchronous. It's there for you to look at anytime you want when you're studying. But I go through it with you synchronously at the same time, in other words. And we spend that first hour approximately doing that. Then there's a break. depending upon how long I've talked, the break is 10 to 15 minutes, something like that. We come back and then we do the laboratory work. Okay, and that will take a little bit longer. Not only usually, I probably say always, and that might work itself into an hour and 15 minutes or something. We will normally be finished at 4:15 to 4:30. The longest I've ever gone is 5 o'clock once, when people had just tons of questions, and so they were the driving force there. So we'll be finished at about, let's call it 4:30. Now, what about the rest of the time for the class? And that goes, I think, until 7. Well, first off, we gobbled up that discussion section hour. We're not going to do it formally. We're going to do it, but we're going to do it informally when we need it the most. And we certainly don't need it today, and it's not even scheduled for Thursday. What about the rest of the time? Well, in any class that I've ever had where we have lab, we have a lab lecture. I stand up in front of everybody, get to the chalkboard. We have lab lecture. And maybe a demonstration. I dissect a cat, or I dissect a brain or something like that, and show them how to do it. But the rest of the time is their time. They work in their groups. I walk around and see what the groups are doing, or if the groups have any questions for the remaining time, and they essentially leave when they have finished their work. Now we're finished with our work together at approximately 4:30. Okay, so if you're wondering how late you're going to be here every night, that's it. Okay, and you call that first part synchronous, and the last part would be called asynchronous. It doesn't read that way in the schedule of classes for my class. It says all totally live streaming synchronous or something like that. Well, we're doing it actually a combination of both. We'll start with synchronous, and then you'll have the time to study afterwards. Will you use the time to study? That's where your grade is determined, I think. Or set it aside and set another time up for yourself to do this. Okay. Question?
Charlie,
Yes.
I know you already explained it, but I'm just asking for clarification. When we add on the discussion class, so like the 110, that will be added in on Tuesdays? Or it's a
No,
flexible add-in? So I guess I didn't get it, sorry.
it's going to be flexible.
Okay.
It's not going to be Tuesday or Thursday. It could be both days.
Okay,
I will announce it ahead of time. What it's going to do is what it's supposed to do: help you get a good grade in Bio 11.
right.
And the time we need that is in preparing for a test or going over a test. That's for the most part.
Okay,
There's plenty of other things we can do with it, but we don't have a need for it every day at 3 o'clock.
got it. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh,
Okay, I'm going to give you a break until 3:30.
I have a
And when we
question.
come, yes,
So you're saying this class normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays will be done by 4:30?
at 4:30.
Okay.
Okay, now can't hold me to it exactly, please. Okay, but I do my best because that's the amount of time it takes. Okay, so when we come back at 3:30, we have about an hour to kill, and that, by kill I mean we can either go right to the laboratory material, which is where we should be. Okay, or I'll probably think of something in the next few minutes that I didn't tell you that I need to tell you. Okay, so I'll see you back. I'm going to black myself out here and mute myself, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back.
Charlie, I sent you an email
Yep.
with my email address. And then also if you can send me the code to add the discussion board, because I had a discussion board, but it was for the wrong teacher.
Oh, that's bad news.
Yeah,
You don't want
so
that.
I just dropped it right now, but if you can send me the right code, I'll add it right now.
Okay, I can send a code, but what I'm going to
Perfect.
do on the my roll sheet, it has waiting students. No, you're not on that because nobody waiting. You do need a code. Okay, I'll make the codes. Okay.
Me
And,
too. Me too, Charlie, please. For the discussion,
Yes.
can you edit me, please?
All I could get out of it this time was discussion. You need a code?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
It's for bio 110, right?
Yes. If
Yeah.
you want a code for 110, you have to ask me, not here. You need to email me.
Ah, okay.
Okay, because
Okay.
I won't have any way to get it back to you otherwise.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no,
Okay.
that's fine. I'm glad you asked.
Okay, thank you.
Professor,
Yeah.
I'm enrolled in 110. It says on my site that I'm enrolled, but on Canvas, it doesn't show it. Is it not supposed to show, or is it supposed to show on Canvas?
Trying to think where it would show.
Like under
Where-
my courses, it only shows bio 11, but I'm enrolled on my site. It says that I'm enrolled in 110 because I enrolled at the same time that I enrolled in 11, but it doesn't show under courses.
Okay, Maria, send me an email. Okay, just say, please check if I'm in bio 110.
Okay.
Okay, if you're not, then they shouldn't have charged you any money. You know, of course not. We'll get it done.
Okay.
But let me check and see what's going on. The other thing I can do is I haven't published bio 110 yet. Okay, there's nothing. No, it's empty right now. Okay, the way we're making it. But when I publish it, you would try to enter it, and you can't enter it unless you're enrolled. So that's another way to check. But yes, just email me and I'll take care of it.
Well, it just says, and on my side, it shows that I'm enrolled. It's probably because you haven't published it that I don't see it on Canvas.
That's the reason. I think that's probably the reason.
Thank you.
Okay, but I can check. I can check our classes, any class at Saddleback College, any class at IVC. I wish I didn't have this ability. They gave it to me years and years ago. Like I said, I've been at this school 45 years, and none of the other instructors have this ability to check all the classes. They didn't take it away from me. They forgot to take it away from me. So I can look and see who's taking 2 classes, who's taking whatever. That's a burden actually, because it sets me before enrollment date this weekend, especially checking and checking and checking, see what's going on, who's enrolled, who's asking to be enrolled, what else they're enrolled in. Oh, it's kind of like being nosy, I suppose. Are you guys in the social media?
Yes.
So I say yeses. I wouldn't touch it for the world. First off, except for this class, except for my classes, this is my social life. This is it. Okay, and I love it. But Facebook, I joined it once, and I got rid of it, and never touched any of those things since. So just be careful.
And then Charlie, I have the sixth edition of the anatomy textbook. Is that okay?
Oh, wow. Let me put it closer. Put it closer to your camera.
I have this one.
Who's the author?
It is right there. Oh, McKinley. Oh, I'm not sure I pronounced that name.
You may use it, but it's going to be a problem for you coordinating pages, but you may use it. Okay, if you want to go to that effort. It's not our author. They won't do it the same way.
Okay.
But
Thank
you
you.
may use it. What else you got? Okay. Okay, let's get back to where we were. Oh yeah, always something. The syllabus that we just spent so much time on, which we have to do, the syllabus is not the same as the one I sent you or had you look at last week. I changed some things last night or the day before. I changed something, just the layout of the topics. Okay, that really shouldn't affect you at all. Okay, but if ever you compare your, maybe you printed it out, the syllabus, it won't look quite the same. Okay, but no important changes. Okay. That orientation starts here. Who mentioned that?
It was me. Maria.
Okay, Maria.
Yes.
You know what? There's not gonna. I'm just going to eliminate that because
That's fine. It just a few days ago, I was trying to see if there what I needed to do to get started, and I was wondering if there was something wrong on my end, or if there's something I needed
Okay.
to know before then.
I understand completely. Then what you would know now to do, email me. You're never bothering me. You're never bothering me. I write millions of emails. We could have figured this out, okay? But it's done now. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You're back to seeing three guys, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Here's our first week. Okay, so what we need to and intend to finish up by Thursday. First off, a meet and greet discussion. I wonder if anybody's actually done any of that yet. Yes. Okay, these people have already completed it. If you haven't completed the meet and greet discussion, let everybody else know a little tiny bit about yourself. Don't go social media on me though. We don't want to know too much. Wow, there's a lot of people here already got that. Okay, but I don't think I see 37. So you can add on to the last one. So, okay, meet and greet is expected this week. Okay, and assignment for this week is a reading assignment. Here it is, 2 chapters, 1 and 6. These are relatively easy chapters. 1 especially, we'll be going over that right now. And then chapter 6 is not terribly difficult. It is what we're going to use for our lecture material on Thursday. So I would wait unless you've got more time now than you'll have over the weekend, and do 1 and 6 at more appropriate time for you. Okay. When are they due? You need an outline. First off, what is an outline? You've all done outlines, I'm sure, in high school, even college. I was taught how to do an outline and it bored me to death. Roman numeral 1, indent, capital A, capital B, capital C. Roman numeral 2, capital A, capital B, capital C. Underneath C, number 1, number 2. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, how they have these strict rules for it. I'm not strict about this. What I want you to do is to outline the chapter in a way that reduces its size and hones in on the important content, so that when you get ready to take a test that covers chapters 1 and 6, you don't reread the book. You go to your outline. Your outline, well, probably the best way to put it, your outline should be the equivalent of a wonderful cheat sheet. If you could have it with you, and you can't, if you could have it with you during the test, it would have all the important items on it. That's what we're looking for. Now, I will accept chapters 1 and 6 outlines in any format you give me. If I think, though, that it's too long or too short, then I will tell you. And future outlines can't be that long or that short. Okay. Almost all of you will do a fine outline the very first time. It can be keyboarded, it can be handwritten, and you can take a photo of it if you wish, or scan it after you've written it if you wish, and send that along. All of the submissions will be by email attachments. Do not use the inbox. Okay. And if you look over on the left-hand side, you're not going to find the inbox. I have hidden it. Okay, so you can't reach it. You can't find grades either, because I don't want you to look at Canvas grades. Okay, I don't want anything by the inbox. I used to use it. It used to be pretty nice, but then it sort of developed a lot of problems for the students. So the easiest way, email attachment. Okay, and they're all due, these two chapters, by practicum 1, first day of practicum 1, the day of practicum 1. What is the day of practicum 1? That's listed in the syllabus. I'll tell you right now. I showed it to you a while ago. It's September 14th. So these aren't due right away, but there's going to be another chapter. Number 9 is coming next week. Okay, usually only 1 chapter a week. This, it has 2 because they're easy. Okay, you can accumulate them or you can send them as you finish them. Okay, and then let me accumulate them. It doesn't matter. Okay, never get lost. So they're due by the 14th. What happens if they're not due or not in by the 14th? You lose any extra credit that you just accumulated for the video presence. Okay, I got to keep everybody up, and so there's good and there's not so good. Good is that you're getting 1 point extra credit for the video and helping out the personality of the class, but we got to get the chapter outlines in timely. Okay, so get them in by the practicum or lose the extra credit you just accumulated before the practicum. But that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I've never had anybody lose their extra credit. They get those outlines in. Okay. Now, almost every week we'll have an assignment or discussion. This is your discussion here. This is your assignment here. I have a website that you may want to refer to. If it doesn't open up in your browser, okay, then come up to the name at the top of it, or sometimes there's a little box up here and you need to click on it. Well, I need to click on the name. There's the website. Okay, this is for you, fall 2021. Okay, and it has the same information. It doesn't have the syllabus because you got that mailed and you got it on Canvas now. Scores, it doesn't have scores yet because you don't have any scores yet. Reading assignments, there they are, 1, 6, and 9. 9's going to be next week. I said that. And all of them are still due by practicum exam 1, P1. I'll go over with you the reading so that you know what's important and what's not. A lot of other material is going to come into play. We're going to start the skull. And these are the terms that you'll have to know. Don't worry, Canvas has all this. This is a duplicate of Canvas. Okay. When we want to look at musculature, okay. Cardiac muscle. Oh, that didn't. It's there. X-rays. Everything you find here, you will also find on Canvas. Okay. Here's our introductory lecture. Okay, 8/24. I put it by the dates. Okay, and this one is very, very simple. You can download it from underneath its title so that you don't have to come online again. This is showing anatomical position. We call these also directional terms. This is anatomical position right here with the person standing facing you, or you facing the person. The feet are slightly spread. The hands show the palm out always, and the person is upright. This is what we call anatomical position, and allows us to name the various parts and directions from one part to another. Now, once we name the parts, we can turn this guy upside down, lie him down, turn him around, whatever we want to do. Those names stick, they stay. Okay? But anatomical position is to stand like this. Here are the directional terms. Without a picture, but we have a picture coming up. When something is superior, it's higher or more cranial than another structure. For instance, the nose is superior to the chin. The eyes are superior to the nose. The eyes are also superior to the chin. This doesn't give people any trouble on it, hoping it's not doing anything nasty to you. Okay. The term superior does not refer to the quality of anything. Okay, good, bad, better, or anything like that. It's direction. Inferior is when something is lower in anatomical position. So the nose is inferior to the eyes. The mouth is inferior to the nose and to the eyes. Lateral. This is when something is farther away from the midline of the body. Well, the midline of the body is here. And the farther we go laterally, okay, to the sides or away, the more lateral something is. The ears are lateral to the nose. The ears are also lateral to the eyes. The thumb is lateral to all of the other digits. The little toe, now this is a little awkward. The little toe is lateral to the big toe. The hands and the feet are opposite each other. The big digit in the hand, the thumb, is lateral. The big digit in the toe, the big toe, is not lateral. It is said to be medial. Okay. The little finger is medial, closer to the midline in the hand. Okay. The eye is medial to the ear. Those are the most important terms. Proximal and distal. These are easy terms once you latch onto them. They usually refer to appendages like the arms and legs, or just the fingers themselves. When something is proximal, it's at the point of origin. So the leg attaches to the body here. So you can say the groin is proximal to the foot. The foot is medial. I'm sorry, that was wrong. The foot is distal. Distal, away, distant to the knee. The foot is distal to the groin. The shoulder is proximal to the hand. The shoulder is proximal to the elbow. The elbow is distal to the shoulder, but the elbow is proximal to the hand. Anterior and posterior. Sometimes these give people trouble if they've been dissecting a lot of stuff in high school, okay, because they might be used a little bit differently. But for us, anterior would be get yourself in anatomical position and do the foolish thing, walk straight into a wall, okay? Whatever hits on that side, your nose, your mouth, your chin, your chest, this is the anterior side. If you turn around or back up, either way, and you hit your butt, your back, your shoulders at the back against the wall, that's your posterior side. When we talk about right and left, we always refer to the specimens right or left, not your right or left. Now, if you were a painter, a portrait painter, I found this out recently. You don't do it that way. Well, I better stop right where I am because I don't want to confuse you. The terms right and left always refer to the specimens right or left. Okay. Two models. Start on the left-hand side. Okay, right, left. Here's the medial line or midline. Anything coming close to the midline is, you can barely see the word, medial. Anything away from the midline is lateral. Distal on the arm would be to move towards the hand. Proximal would be to move towards the shoulder. Distal in the leg would be to move towards the foot, and proximal would be to head towards the thigh. Anterior is this entire side here. Posterior is here. Sometimes the terms ventral and dorsal are used, but not when we're talking about standard human anatomy. Yeah. They are used on the cat, and we do use the cat in this course, but we'll wait till then to use those terms. Anterior and posterior are the ones we want. Superior towards the head, inferior towards the feet, proximal towards the thigh, distal towards the feet. The body can be sectioned many ways, but the three major planes are called the frontal, the sagittal, and the transverse plane. If a person were able to walk through a wall, but got caught halfway in between, this is the section that person would be in. And this is called the frontal plane. If a person is sliced right down the midline, this is the sagittal plane. And then if somebody is standing waist deep in water, the water line would be at the transverse plane. This starts the lab for today. That little thing that we just did constitutes today's lecture. Not much. We'll have plenty of lectures where you go, whoa, hold on. Okay. This is the skull. These are the parts of the skull. Now you can go back to Charlie's website, as I called it, and get the list as well. But this is a little bit better. Okay. We're going to look at 4 sutures. We will not do all of them, all of the items here, but we will certainly get these 4 sutures. And I'll start with sagittal suture. And what you need to do is look and see where the figure is. Figure 7.5. That means in chapter 7.5, there is a picture or a diagram of the sagittal suture. The coronal is at 7.4, lambdoidal 7.4, squamosal 7.4, parietal and frontal at 7.4. Most of the things are on 7.4 actually, and then later on 7.9, which we will not get that far. This is probably something that when you have the book, and I'm hoping that many of you have it already, that you can print out for yourself. Now, what can you do if you don't have the book? Okay. Go to this page and print it. Just print this and this. So get it off the computer. Okay. And now for sagittal suture, Google it. Okay, sagittal suture. And there'll be plenty of images available to you to show you what it looks like. I didn't copy this one for myself today. That was stupid. Too many other things going on, but I don't need it. Okay, so that's all that is there. It's a guide so that you know where you should be looking. And then here's our first lab. As you can see, 824, that's today. That's the last thing. Then we have 826. Things will be added to this. For instance, the recording will be added in later tonight. This is just part one. Okay, now, does anybody have that page already available?
I
Yes.
printed it out already.
Okay,
I have it too.
okay, well, Ashley was in there first. So Ashley, would you mind giving me the first item, sagittal suture?
The first item, what?
On that page.
Oh, on the page. Yes. Yes.
Ashley,
Yes, I'm finding it right now.
I know, but if all that noise is coming from you, I'm gonna let Maria do it instead.
Oh, okay.
Is it? I mean, we would be able to work. So Maria, you have that page?
Yes.
What's the first item?
So we have the sagittal suture.
Okay, that's it. And it's right here. If you don't have the page, hey, neither do I. I just need to know what sagittal suture means. I'm going to be asked on the practicum to name either a bone or a structure. And this is a structure. This is a suture right here. Goes all the way around to the front, the top of your forehead. Sagittal suture. The next one is
Lambdoidal suture.
lambdoidal suture. So let's come back. Put your finger, if you want, at the back of your skull. And now make it go wide, two directions. This lambdoidal suture, there's two of them. And they
Never thought I'd see our American military, our country acting this way. We run from these people. We make our own timelines, and those timelines should be.
okay. Here's a lambdoidal suture. It ends right behind the ear. And then the squamosal suture goes up and over the ear. All of the joints in the skull are sutures, with the possible exception of the ear ossicles. But all that we see here that make the brain case, these are sutures. Here on the posterior side, here's the sagittal suture again. Lambdoidal suture, lambdoidal suture. On either side of the sagittal suture is a bone called the parietal bone, here and here. So if you just put your hand on the side of your head up at the top, that's the parietal bone. I haven't seen the frontal bone here, frontal suture, coronal suture. Okay. The occipital bone, put your hand at the back of your skull. It has a bump in it too. It's the external occipital protuberance. Can you find that bump at the back of your head? Okay. Occipital bone goes underneath the skull as well. It's a huge bone. Now I do have a bone box here that I can use with you, but for the skull, it's only useful for the larger bones like this. It's perfectly useful for all the rest of the bones. This bone here is called the cheek bone. I realize I skipped frontal, coronal suture. This is the zygomatic bone. If you put your hand below and lateral to the eye, you feel the cheekbone. That has a small cavity or hole going through it in the bone below. This bone is unmarked, so I should probably just skip it for right now. This is the maxilla. Zygomatic bone. The entrance into the ear, the external auditory meatus. It's also known as the external acoustic meatus. Either is correct, and either could be offered in a multiple choice question. Below and behind the ear is the mastoid process. You've felt it all your life. Reach back there just one more time. Feel that bump behind your ear. Mastoid process.
Charlie,
Yes?
what was the second name for the
Acoustic.
entrance? Thank you. Oh, right, of course. Okay.
Here's the mastoid process. Now you have a fang-like or needle-like process called the styloid process. You can't feel your own. It's a good bet that for many of us, this bone is broken, or this, it's not a bone, this is a structure. This structure is broken.
Charlie, is this in the ear area?
Say it again.
Is this in the ear area?
In the ear,
Ears area? The ears?
it's below the ear. If you, I'm not sure I'm understanding you. You've got noise in your background.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm not sure this, I'll just say it. Styloid process hangs down off of the occipital bone to a point. Okay. It's not in the ear. Underneath your chin, you may never have felt this, but if you try, you can realize that there's a horseshoe-shaped bone around your throat, under your chin. You have to push up, okay, and then sort of swallow, and it bulges forward. That's the hyoid bone. We'll go back to this one. I don't want to leave it. I wish this had been labeled maxilla, but we'll get that on another one. This hole is the infra, meaning below, orbital, the eyeball, foramen. A foramen, you'll hear this from me a million times. It's a hole that goes through a single bone. It's not a jumble of rocks, for instance, that you can squeeze yourself through. It's an actual hole through a single rock, and you may be able to squeeze yourself through that. This is the infraorbital foramen. You can find that if you touch underneath your eye, closer to your nose, not in the middle underneath your eye, but a little bit closer to your nose, and press and press, and it hurts. You find that spot where it's sore to press, that's the infraorbital foramen. A nerve goes through there. This is the occipital bone back here. Remember I said it goes underneath the skull, comes up to here. That's where it ends. This is all occipital bone. Here's the mastoid process. This large hole, which receives the spinal cord, is the foramen magnum. That just simply means big hole. The foramen magnum. If you had a skull, I would have you put 2 fingers into it, 9 and 3. Lift your fingers out, because you can only get the tips in anyway, and put them at 10, 2 on these 2 little hills. These are the occipital condyles. A condyle is a rounded projection for articulation. You're going to get all of these things in words, in written text. Okay. So if you're debating as to whether you want to pay attention or you want to try to scribble down every word he says, paying attention is probably going to be better. The occipital condyles, turning this over, set on top of the first vertebra of the cervical vertebrae, your neck, in other words. This oval hole is the carotid foramen. The carotid artery enters into it. You cannot see the exit. You wonder, well, it's got to come out somewhere. It does. It turns medially and comes out over here. Medially and comes out over here. This is the carotid foramen. A larger hole, more jagged, posterior to the carotid foramen, is the jugular foramen. It's barely visible on this side, but fairly visible on this side. Then the jugular vein fits through there. This arch to the zygomatic bone, this is zygomatic bone here, extends from the temporal bone on either side. And this cavity, which is nice and smooth, is the mandibular fossa. If you open your mouth, well, I'm doing it, talking, if you chew on anything, your mandible or jaw will lower and raise, and it connects right here. When you talk about TMJ, temporomandibular joint, you're talking about this spot right here or over here. I need to back up. Sorry. Here's the temporal bone underneath the parietal bone and forward of the occipital bone. This is looking down into the skull. Here's the jugular foramen. Now, where's the outlet for the carotid? You can't see it. The carotid's running through here and medially to here. So on this side, we can only see the jugular foramen. And we also see this little spot, this one. That's the internal acoustic meatus. also known as the internal auditory meatus. The external auditory meatus is one we saw a moment ago, and sound would enter there. But the nerve, the vestibulocochlear nerve, cranial nerve number 8, not that you're supposed to remember that yet, don't worry, okay? That nerve comes out of here and goes to the brain. This is the internal acoustic meatus. Now here's our coronal suture finally. We have to have a profile. Coronal suture here. Here was our unlabeled now parietal bone. Here's the temporal bone. And the temporal bone is broken into 2 parts, which over the years has proven to be one of the most difficult concepts for any class. And it shouldn't be. You either get it or you don't. So let's see if we can get it the first time. First, temporal bone. It goes from here down to here, here. And this first part right here of this arch is part of the temporal bone. The upper part of the temporal bone at this point here is the squamous portion. Squamous, a lot of people think flat. I do too. But it's supposed to be fish scale like. Well, not everybody has scaled a fish. Those who have though know that those little slivers can get into lots of different things, but they're flat. This is flat. If we could remove the parietal bone above it off, we'd find that this is quite flat, thin. Whereas this part down here has got all these bony outcroppings. And this is temporal bone, but it's the petrous portion. Petrous means rocky. Okay. If you've heard of Petra in Jordan or seen Raiders of the Lost Ark any number of times, that city of stone is Petra. This is the petrous portion. Now, why this gives people problems is we're very precise on the test. If there's an arrow like this one, and it says, name the bone, the answer has to be temporal. If the question says, name this part of the bone, okay, there aren't many like that one, but this is being very precise. It wants squamous portion, or squamous portion of the temporal, if you wish. This is the zygomatic arch. The zygomatic arch is formed from 2 bones. A part of the temporal, follow my cursor from here to here, and a little part of the zygomatic from here to here. I only want you to know, or need you to know, zygomatic arch. You don't have to know the 2 bones that make it up. Zygomatic arch. Above the eye, there's either a hole or just a slight notch. Each person is different. Below the eye, or the orbit of the eye, we found the infraorbital foramen. This is the supraorbital foramen. And if it's not a hole, then you can properly call it supraorbital notch. This one you can't feel when you push on it. You won't feel it at all. We had an instructor when I first started teaching anatomy, and he was a son of a gun. His joy in life was to make a question so hard you couldn't answer it. I don't like that. You know, you can learn a lot of things, and then you can learn his trivia. He would ask in a multiple choice test, what is this structure? Okay. Answer A, supraorbital foramen. That would be correct. B, superorbital foramen. Wrong. C, superior orbital foramen. Okay, so you get the idea that if anybody wanted to, they could make an impossible test out of some of this. Like I said, he was a strange person. At 9 o'clock when his class started, he pulled the door shut and you were locked out and you were not allowed to come in. If you knocked at the door, he took 5 points off of your grade. If you knocked again, he took 10 more points off until you went away. If you had a pencil break during an exam and had to get up and sharpen it, you lose 5 points. If it ever happens again, 10 points. Okay, I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's just true. At the bridge of the nose, right here. This is the nasal bone. Nasal bone here. Inside, this one is a very small bone, lacrimal bone, tear bone. Has a hole underneath it for tear ducts. Coming in between the nasal and the lacrimal is the maxilla. This is the maxilla here. It also extends into the eye. Here's our zygomatic bone once again. We never did mention the name of this bone at the front, the frontal bone. Anybody reviewing can also go ahead if you wish. Do not take practice quiz 1 yet. Okay, at least wait until Friday. You don't have enough information for that just yet. On Conference Zoom, okay, here we are now, we're in that spot. And what I just did, I logged into last semester's class because we don't have any recordings yet. But look up here, appointment booking, don't worry about that. Event recordings, hit it. There are the recordings. I don't even have to do that. I don't even have to do that. They'll be there anyway. I, however, will put the recordings usually on the front side. So for instance, here's how you'll find recording. That was in June, of course. Okay, but that was their first recording. Here's the recording for the next night. And here's the practice quiz 1. That's the same as yours. And recordings all the way through. So you'll find them in both places. I was at that meeting I told you about 2 days ago. And a lot of the instructors didn't even know that that was there. So I got to get one over on them for a change. Okay. Any questions for today? Any questions about, have you thought through how you'll begin to study for this class? Probably not thought through what order to study, but just to get a start on it. Go over those bones again. The reason I feel that they're the easy ones, and there's going to be a lot more on Thursday, okay, that we add to it. But you've got to get them all down by the 14th of September, because that's when the test is. Okay. Any questions? Okay, then here's what we do. I will invite you to exit, and I did hit 4:30. Okay.
Charlie,
Yes.
I have a question. For the assignment, the practice assignment, when is the due date?
For which assignment?
The
You have two
practice-
assignments. You have the meet and greet. That one I want by Friday. Okay.
Which
That's,
one?
it's called meet and greet.
Okay, that's
Okay,
Friday.
that's by Friday. And most people have done it, it seems. But the chapter readings, they're due the 14th of September.
Okay.
The best thing you can do, though, is when you have time, do them when you have time. Don't wait till you don't have time. Okay, so I'll invite you to leave. And if you want to ask a question, you can stay around to the very end and have it be private, or we can go to a private room. Dominique, is Dominique here? Okay, so I'm going to drop Dominique, and I'll add one more person. Hope I pick wisely. Oh, Alexa.
Thank you, Charlie.
Wait a moment. Alexa. Okay, Alexa. I can't. Madison, say yes. Okay, I've got 2 people to drop and 2 people to add. Okay, so you can leave individually anytime you want right now, okay? Or you can wait around and see if anybody else has got a smart question.
Professor, I was just gonna tell you that I tried to add the bio discussion, but it says because it's already started,
That's
you
right.
need to give us permission. So I just want to let you know, and I already emailed you.
Okay, for bio 110, you need
Yeah.
to email me, okay?
Yeah, I
That
emailed you.
gives me more work to do. That's fine.
Sorry.
No, no. You
Okay.
got me wrong.
Okay. All right. Have a good night, Professor. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie, I have
Yes.
a question. I'm going to be out of town on the 14th of October. That's going to be our second test. Can I take the test before?
No. No one can take a test before. I never ever give a test before. You'll have to take
Okay.
it immediately after.
Okay.
Okay, will that work?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't remember this, so you need
I'll
to
send you an
remind me.
email. I've sent you 3 emails so far within the start of the class.
Okay. Don't forget to well, everybody's gone. Send me your preferred email address.
I did. I sent you that. I sent you another email asking you to confirm that I'm in your Bio 110 class.
Yes.
And then I sent you a third one asking for the syllabus, but then I was able to find it on Canvas, so just disregard that one.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Charlie, when we do the chapter summary, when people are attaching it, are people doing, could I do a chapter summary, take a picture and attach it? in an
Yes.
email? That's fine.
Yes, you may.
Okay, that's easy. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a copier?
I do.
'Cause
No, I
sometimes-
don't. I can have access to, sorry, I have a printer. I can have access to one at work.
Oh, most printers copy these days.
I know this one's very funky. I mean, it probably does. It's just me.
I'll take it any way you,
I'll make
form
sure
you
it's like
want.
nice, neat, and
I
legible.
just
Okay.
don't want Google Docs. I should have said that.
Oh, okay,
They,
yeah.
they really give problems.
Jammed up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. See you
Okay, we'll get
Thursday.
it done.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.